Hi everyone, Vacha here from Recording Studio 9 and thanks for joining me today. And today I will finally try to fix one of my audio gear which been sitting in the garage for a while. That's why you have not seen it on my rack. Is the Behringer's Tube Compressor, the one of the Vintager series, and it's the model T1952. It works perfectly, there's no electronic problems in there, but when I purchased it from eBay during the delivery, there has been some damage, actually physical damage of some of the meters, especially that one and that one, where it's been pushed in, so it's out of whack. So not only I have to take it apart and physically put it back together, because the needles do work, but I also have to recalibrate it. And the other thing I need to do is the light bulbs behind the valves which light up to give a nice aesthetic feel of the tubes inside. They've burnt, so I want to replace them. Whether I will replace them with another incandescent light, or I might even try to put some LED light behind it. And at the same time, while I have the box open, I will have a look of the option to change the tubes on this one. I did some research to find out about the tubes. The ones that are in here, they're the standard tubes. Because I'm going to be using this compressor more often than my other Behringer unit of the same series, I thought I might give the tubes a chance to change them, put the ones that might work a bit better. So there's about 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws that I have to unscrew, and the top panel will actually come out. This is how much it actually cost originally in Australia. Would have been quite a few years ago, $506. That's not how much I paid, but that's how much they used to cost, brand new. Obviously these units are no longer manufactured. You can't find them. The only one you can find them is on eBay. So that's taken off. Let's have a look inside. Now, as you saw inside, where the tubes, the vacuum tubes are, the valves are, behind them are these globes. A lot of people, as I mentioned in my previous videos, claim that the tubes are fake. They put globes behind them. Yes, they put globes behind them for aesthetic reasons, to light them up. But the tubes are real. They do work. Actually, if I turn them on now without the globes, and if you look really closely, you might see just tiny bit of glow inside the tube, and that is pretty much what you need for saturation, because the tubes are right at the end of the chain. Right, what you see here as the input stage, it's all components. There's no tubes to amplify the signal. It's just a saturation tube, and I'm hoping that after reading so many forums and a couple of videos about those tubes, replacing them with an equivalent but more appropriate one will get a better result, much warmer saturation, much better saturation than the one inside them. But that is something for another video. But these incandescent globes, they're burnt, so I'm hoping to actually replace them with an LED ones. Again, I can choose any color now. I can choose, you know, maybe amber color or blue, green, yellow, red, whatever color I like. I can put them in there. They're just for decoration. I mean, inside it, it's pretty much empty, but as you can see, there's not much to it. That's a power supply driving the tube, wires going to the front panel, wires from the front to the back, so going and coming back, and yeah, that's about it. And this is the input stage, processing stage, the valves right at the end, and then comes back to the output from these wires. Okay. The next thing to do is to fix a couple of my meters. So I need to take them out and physically fix them, and later on I need to calibrate them so that they do display things correctly. Now, even though I don't have signal generators and spectrometers or signal meters or oscilloscopes, but there is a way we can use software like our DAW, and PreSonus Studio One is just the right one that we can use to calibrate it, because Studio One does have a sine wave signal generator as well as oscilloscope and spectrogram. So going to be using those tools to realign and adjust them. So let's get on and get those meters fixed. Of course, when you're doing any electrical work, make sure it's not plugged in. One thing you may notice is right at the front there is a small plastic screw bit. Not sure if you can see it on screen. That allows you to adjust the meter physically. So it's a physical thing. So I just had to make sure that that fits in, so later on I'll be able to adjust it, adjust the needle so it actually sits correctly in there. So it's quite a delicate thing. It does have a couple of points, grooves and notches that will fit in as far as the plastic bit is concerned. So let's try one more time. Okay, one of them is done, and by adjusting that adjustment screw, I can see the needle moving where it needs to move. Now to the next one, and hopefully that will be it, because the other two, the outside ones, are fine. So let's see how we go. Now, upon closer inspection, I discovered that the fourth one was out of place as well. So I didn't want to bore you with the same procedure. So I've already done that as well. So all four of the meters I have taken apart and put them back together. Now, I'm not sure whether this happened during delivery, or like commonly you will see, especially in movies, when something is not working and it's got a meter, and you know, a lot of people just go click, 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 you know, they tap on it to make the meter work, as if that's going to help want the whole system to work. But anyway, so I'm assuming that that's what would have happened, because that's for 4 of them. They were just pushed in, so, and out of place. So hopefully they'll be all working, because I did see them working. So I'm just gonna go ahead and now adjust the meters, and we'll give it a try, see how it works. So back in its box again, all the meters are fixed, covered. The only thing missing inside it are the 2 globes, which are burnt. So I will be replacing them with an LED one. Hopefully I'll find some, and I might actually buy a few more extra to replace my other Behringer series of this audio gear, so that way they all look the same color when you turn them on, because they are static. I keep repeating that because a lot of people talk about it badly about. Anyway, so it's all back in its glory. So you might be asking, what is it? Well, let me tell you. Now you might be asking, what's all these buttons and switches and things and fancy schmancy stuff? Well, it's just fancy schmancy compressor. Nothing different, nothing special about it. It just looks fancy, that's all. It does have a couple of built-in features. Initially, at the first stage is gate and expander with variable ratio, which is really great to get rid of initial noises or whatever if you use it for that purpose. Then it has the standard compressor settings, threshold, attack, release, ratio, and so on. It does have sidechain capability as well, so you can plug in so an external source can control the threshold and the compression of each of the channels. Of course, you can flick a switch and make it linked stereo, so that way you only adjust one of the settings and both left and right channels are synchronized. Or you can, like normally what I do is have them 2 stereo separate ones, so I got more control. And it does have a sidechain internal one as well. That means it applies a low pass filter so that your bass frequencies do not trigger the compressor, so that way you don't kill your bass. So you still get your bass passing through, but your mid-range and the high frequencies get compressed. You know, that's really good way, because most of your energy you want it to be controlled, the medium and the high frequency. So that's really great in there. And it's got a limiter in here where you can actually drive it to clipping, and it will soft clip, analog soft clip, and then when it reaches to full clip distortion, it actually brings the level down all of a sudden. So that way, if you are using it in a live situation, that means any loud passages when the band is playing, it doesn't damage your speaker system. So usually this is really great between your mixer and your power amps or your power speakers to control level and volume. So you set level, and then it doesn't matter how loud the band plays, you can control the output volume without burning your speakers. And of course it has a saturation as well, where this is where the tube does its bit. It just adds saturation into your signal to get a little bit of they call it warmth, but it's basically saturation. It gives a little bit more presence and brightness for your material, the audio material that's passing through. And I do have a video about it, and you can actually click here somewhere and follow up on of another device that I have in this series, and I've tested it for you. So that's basically what it is. So, and I might make another video later on and do an audio test once I actually finish and it's in my rack. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you next time. Cheerio, guys.